organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, the election is only days away. We sat down with both sides of the 21 ordinance debate. What they had to say is up next.
Safety is often not the first thing on people's mind this time of year, but we'll give you a look at what you can do to stay safe this Halloween.
And in sport, Kirk's crew goes for the trophy game trifecta. Pre-game is just around the corner.
We have all that at the top of the hour. Daily Iowan TV starts right now.
I'm Tom Brokaw. For more than 100 years now, the University of Iowa community has been waking up to the Daily Iowan. Today, it's the largest newsroom in eastern Iowa. And now you can see the news every night on Daily Iowan TV and get it anytime worldwide at dailyiowan.com.
Thanks for tuning in this evening. I'm Mira Kone.
And I'm Reed Chandler.
Simply creating a law that makes them leave is not changing their drinking. They're going to find a way to drink.
I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that things would go back to the way they were. We had more assaults, more fights. People would leave the bars at 2 in the morning, head down into the neighborhoods in droves.
You just heard in a nutshell the stances from both sides of the 21 ordinance debate in Iowa City. Supporters and opponents of repealing the ordinance through a vote on the November 5th ballot next week had the chance to answer questions from the crowd Wednesday night at a forum on the issue co-hosted by the Daily Iowan and University of Iowa Student Government. The Pro-19 campaign cited increased disorderly house charges and safety risks of off-campus partying as a reason to repeal the ordinance, while supporters of the policy asserted a more diverse and family-friendly downtown atmosphere being a direct effect of the initiative. Early voting has been going on around campus for several weeks now, but you can always vote on this issue and more on Election Day next Tuesday. You can even register at the polls.
One local school is turning to boxing to increase attendance, and it's working. Tate High School has partnered with the local Title Boxing Club company to provide an outlet for its students. So far, school officials have seen a reduction in stress, anxiety, and grade improvements. And this program has been in place since August, and today is the last day for the trimester. To learn more about the program, check out tomorrow's copy of the Daily Iowan.
Halloween night for downtown Iowa City means one giant costume party. And while this may be very entertaining, there are some very important things to remember. As always, students need to ensure they are safe if they are downtown. We spoke with Sergeant Vicki Lala about safety issues students should know about when they are going out drinking on a Halloween night.
Sometimes people put a costume on and it sort of changes their behavior because they do things they wouldn't normally do. The top things I would recommend is don't drink too much. You know, go out, have fun, but you can have fun without drinking too much.
Sergeant Lala also recommends being smart about shoe selection. She says they've seen people trip and hurt themselves in heels many times, and that this will be even more important to remember with the slippery walkways out tonight. As always, police will be stationed downtown to ensure the safety of everyone. And much more still to come on Daily Iowan TV.
We're breaking down the film to this weekend's matchup between Hawks and Badgers in sports.
And one popular Iowa City food market is closing their doors for the season. We have the story up next.
But first, we have Kelsey Cuniff in the weather studio with what you can expect this week. Kelsey?
Hey guys, hope you're having a great Halloween and you're ready for the rest of this week's spooky weather. Tomorrow morning it's going to be 43 degrees and temps will rise to about 53 degrees in the afternoon and will drop to 39 degrees at night with partly cloudy skies all day. Looking at the rest of this week, football fans, get ready to bundle up Saturday. The skies will be partly cloudy with a high of 50 degrees. Sunday will also be cloudy, but the temps are looking up with a high of 56 degrees. For the rest of the week, we are looking at a chance of rain. Monday is going to have a high of 53 degrees. Tuesday, the temperatures will barely reach 53 degrees. And Wednesday, the temperature will drop again to 51 degrees. That's all I have for weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
The summer and fall harvest wrapped up yesterday at the last Iowa City Farmers Market.
And our Daily Iowan reporter Laura Gibbs was on the scene yesterday and is bringing us the scoop on this year's crops.
Thanks, guys. Welcome to this week's Spotlight Iowa City. Yesterday marked the final day of Iowa City's Farmers Market, which took place this year from May 1st until October 30th. I was able to check it out and talk to some local farmers about their year. Farmers, crafters, and artisans gathered in their usual location in the Chauncey Swan Ramp yesterday at 5 o'clock and brought along with them the remainder of their products from the summer and fall harvest. Local Iowan shoppers enjoyed their last grocery trip to the farmers market to pick up some of their favorite fresh and local produce.
So nice that we have the great market during the summer and fall, and so it is always tough to see as winter's coming, just not having the luxury of so much local food.
Despite the limited rainfall producing a drought in July and August, the moderate temperatures helped to nurture the crops and most were not affected too harshly. The general consensus was that this year's fall crop harvest was overall very successful.
Brought a good harvest for the fall. You see lots of great big cabbages and a lot of colorful pumpkins and beautiful squashes of varieties you'd never seen before.
Dan Differding, a farmer from Winthrop, said he was happy with the turnout this year from his apple trees.
It's had the perfect bloom, apples everywhere, and so we've been picking apples since the end of August.
Due to the recent government shutdown, the United States Department of Agriculture was forced to delay or cancel crop reports across the country, so Iowa farmers and traders are in a tough spot without that information for pricing their products. For the meantime, prices will remain flat. And guys, make sure to look out for a special holiday farmers market coming back in November. Back to you.
And now for a look at what's happening beyond Iowa. U.S. officials discovered a secret passage that links Mexico and the U.S., equipped with electricity, a rail system, and ventilation. The tunnel is designed to smuggle drugs, and 8 tons of marijuana and 3 suspects were seized.
For the first time since 1918, the Boston Red Sox won the World Series in their hometown. The win capped an emotional season for the team and the city. All the players wore Boston Strong on their uniforms as a reminder of the Boston Marathon tragedy. Harlan Trophy on the line this Saturday in Kinnick Stadium, Reed.
Big game for both the Hawks and Badgers and a big show for our pregame staff tonight. Lauren Moss is standing by in the Daily Iowan TV sports studio and is ready to go. Lauren?
Hello and welcome back to another Thursday of pregame here in the Daily Iowan TV sports studio. I'm Laura Moss and I'm flying solo on this trophy game edition of the program with Kirk's crew set to take up upstart Wisconsin in T-minus 48 hours in Kinnick Stadium. But before we get things started this evening, our own Danny Payne and Whitney Blakemore have the full report on who you can expect on both the field and the sidelines for both the Hawks and Badgers. What's going on, guys?
Thanks, Lauren, and welcome back to our weekly injury report. Getting right into it, the Hawkeyes seem to finally have everything back in order for Greg Davis's offense.
That's right, Danny. No one has been reported as injured, and according to the two deeps, they're all expected to play.
For the defense, however, Dominic Elvis will miss his second straight game with a lower back injury. Defensive teammate B.J. Lowry said Elvis is missed on the field, but is confident in other players who are waiting to step up.
He's a tough player, but we have other guys behind him that like Mike Hardy. He stepped in last week. He did pretty good, so we're pretty confident in him too.
Now let's not forget about the Hawks corner, Jordan Lomax. He was finally listed on the two deeps last week and played some on the special teams. He had 1 tackle and 1 assist last game and will back up behind B.J. Lowry again versus the Badgers.
Now, Wisconsin is coming off a bye week and have had a chance to recover from some injuries during their last game against Illinois. In particular, Chris Borland, who leads the Badger defense with 35 solo tackles and 2 sacks.
He suffered a hamstring injury in the first quarter against the Illini, resulting in him missing the remainder of the game, but is still listed as the starter for this weekend's game with the Hawks.
Well, Whitney, it looks like it'll be a great matchup this weekend with 2 healthy teams fighting to get the W here at Kinnick.
Well, I know I'm excited for the game. Lauren, how about you?
Could not be more excited, Whitney. And one member of the Black and Gold is banged up and still planning on dominating the middle of the field for Phil Parker's defense, James Morris. And while the 2-time Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week's limitation isn't well documented, you can see its effect on Iowa's captain week in and week out. Our own Chelsea Brown gets hands-on in with this week's Player Spotlight.
Your thumbs are an essential part of communicating every day. Students dwindle their thumbs over iPhones daily, but could you imagine not being able to use your thumbs for a day, or even trying to catch a ball as a football player whose thumbs are immobilized? Senior linebacker James Morris faces this challenge when catching the ball.
Conventional wisdom is right to say, like, make a square, make the triangle, you do that. And then you want the point of the ball to go through your hands, and then you secure it with your fingertips. But when you can't use your thumbs, it more or less hits, and then you have to like collapse around the ball.
Since the 2011 football season, due to jamming his thumbs numerous times, he now wears thumb casts during most games. He has bone spurs in his thumb, which are bony projections that develop along the edges of bones. These casts are put on both of his thumbs and then taped around his hands, only allowing wiggle room for the top of his thumb, but this doesn't stop Morris from catching the ball. This leading linebacker is tied for first in the nation for overall linebacker interceptions with a total of 3. Seen in previous games, Morris goes up for a catch and bobbles the ball before securing it into his body for an interception. Because his thumbs are immobilized, this has presented a challenge for him when catching the ball, but has not put a hold for wanting to make those defensive plays.
One thing about James Morris, I mean, anything he has, he'll use, and experience is a part of that. So, some guys just kind of float through life. So experience isn't that big a deal, but that's not the case with him.
Experience has led Morris to being a leading linebacker, even with the setback of his thumbs.
I think some of it's luck, and then some of it is being opportunistic, and when the chance does present itself to make a play, you do have to make it, and that's sometimes maybe harder than what it appears on TV.
Chelsea Brown, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
And you know, Kirk Ferentz says he's scary smart, and in fact, Morris was just named a 2013 National Football Foundation National Scholar Athlete. Morris is one of 16 honorees that will travel to New York City in December to receive an $18,000 postgraduate scholarship for his academic standings. So good job, James. And Morris may be the key when the nation's top scoring offense on the ground meets its counterpart in Iowa City. Pick up your pens and notepads because we're jumping over to the film room in 3, 2, 1.
Thanks, Lauren. Welcome back to the film room. Jordan Cabellos alongside Cody Goodwin as we get set to break down the Badgers ahead of Saturday's trophy game. Cody, got some footage of Wisconsin. What are we looking at?
Well, first we're going to take a look at the Wisconsin run game, one of the most potent and dangerous in college football. And mainly what's been on the minds of the Hawkeye linebackers this week has been that jet sweep play. We're going to bring this play full screen here. And what Stave's going to do when he takes the ball, that's Melvin Gordon right there circled. He's going to take the ball and actually run to his left. And as the play proceeds, the camera guy even on this play doesn't actually follow Melvin Gordon, who at the time when finally Northwestern's defense figured out he's got the ball on that jet sweep, he's running down the field, just hightailing it all the way to the end zone. Really it's a play that's going to catch a lot of teams off guard, especially Iowa, but with 3 senior linebackers who prepare just as well as anybody in the country, it's important that they zero in on this jet sweep. That's one of Wisconsin's bread and butters. That's what they're going to probably use a lot on Saturday.
Now we got another play. Wisconsin 8th in the nation in rushing offense. What can we expect for Iowa's defense getting to the quarterback?
Well, if they're going to get to the quarterback to disrupt this offensive rhythm from Wisconsin, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to get to Joel Stave quickly. We're going to bring this play full screen when they played Wisconsin. And you can see here, we're going to time here Abraham Campbell of Northwestern as soon as he just gets to the quarterback, as the play proceeds. Look at how quickly that Campbell is able to get to Stave, bring him to the ground, 2.25 seconds. It's going to be important for the Iowa linebackers to be quick, to be efficient, and to get to the quarterback to disrupt him, because if you don't disrupt Stave as quickly as Campbell did, he's got Jared Abbrederis, he's going to have Gordon, he's going to have White, tons of offensive weapons for the Badgers.
Won't be easy for the Hawkeyes on Saturday. Lauren, back to you.
Well, that's going to do it here on pregame, but before we go, here's a look at your latest producer power rankings for Week 10 of the college football season. It's been a long fall from grace for Pat Fitzgerald's Northwestern Wildcats as they drop all the way to number 9 this week. Indiana, Illinois, and Purdue fill out spots 10 through 12. The hometown Hawks are flying high as they soar to their highest position of 2013, coming in at number 6, with Bo Pelini's Huskers a single slot ahead, and both Minnesota and Penn State falling below the black and gold in spots 7 and 8 respectively. This weekend will tell us a lot about the teams ranked in our top 4, with number 4 Wolverines taking on the Spartans, positioned at number 3, and with Wisconsin and Ohio State rounding out our top 2 spots. Well, thanks for joining us on pregame, and remember to tune back in this Sunday for full coverage of the Battle of the Heartland Trophy. Muriel and Reed, back to you guys at the desk.
Well, that's all we have for you guys tonight, but be sure to catch our Friday's edition of the Daily Iowan. Read about the latest updates from the local rehab center.
And also see what faith has to do with domestic violence as we talk to local religious leaders.
Thanks for tuning in this evening. We'll be back at the same time on Sunday, or you can catch us anytime online at dailyiowan.com.
And have a happy Halloween, everyone, and have a good night.